I wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't also for a few other gentlemen who I was lucky to work with along the way.
Hello, everybody. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm Margaret McKendrick.
Hello.
Oh, hello again. And this must be Vicky. Oh, you are adorable. I'd know you anywhere from Mitch's description.
In an era when speaking out was a guaranteed career killer, Maureen O'Hara emerged as a fierce anomaly, an actress who stood her ground while Hollywood did everything in its power to erase her defiance. She spoke openly about rejecting the casting couch, refusing to trade her dignity for fame, and shamed an industry obsessed with plastic perfection by rejecting surgery to change her face. Executives demanded she fix her nose and teeth, calling her features too strong, but she refused. "If that's what you want, I'll go back to Ireland," she declared, choosing pride over plastic. Though punished by studios for her refusal to conform, O'Hara didn't flinch. Her resistance was personal, rooted not in profit but in principle, saying she resisted not for money but because she was Irish. Even when forced to accept roles to avoid suspension, she remained vocal about the scripts she hated, excluding certain films from her official filmography. Before it was commonplace for celebrities to sue tabloids and online outlets, O'Hara became the very first actress to successfully take down a powerful Hollywood gossip magazine. She didn't just endure abuse, she fought back, both physically and legally, helping expose the rot festering beneath the golden veneer of Tinseltown. O'Hara became a symbol not just of resistance, but of reclamation, proving that one woman's voice could shake the foundations of an entire industry. Physical abuse, studio torment, and a shocking lack of sympathy. Behind the glitz of Hollywood's golden age was a dark reality of physical torment and psychological control, and Maureen O'Hara experienced it all. The studios monitored bathroom breaks, deducting pay for time spent off-set, and berated actors with the mantra "time is money." On one occasion, after confronting a director she despised, O'Hara was physically injured when her wrist was snapped during a confrontation, resulting in a cracked bone. Rather than receiving sympathy, she was ordered back to work. Even more disturbing was a story from one of her films where she was dragged down a hill after the director and lead actor spread sheep dung on the slope for the sole purpose of humiliating her. She recalled the smell vividly and realized they delighted in tormenting her simply because she reacted. Rather than giving in, she fought back. In fact, in one instance she admitted that she was genuinely trying to break her co-star's jaw during a heated scene. These weren't staged punches for dramatic effect. They were acts of retaliation from a woman pushed to the brink. O'Hara's story is not just one of survival, but of resistance against institutional cruelty. The lack of protection and rampant abuse she faced highlight the brutal cost of being outspoken in an era that demanded silence and submission from its female stars, an unconventional childhood and a destiny. Foretold, Maureen O'Hara's fire didn't begin in Hollywood. It was lit in Dublin, Ireland, where she was born as Maureen Fitzsimons in 1920 into a family as eccentric as it was loving. One of 6 children, she grew up in a household full of music, sports, and strong personalities. Her father owned a football club, and her mother, a celebrated opera singer and fashion designer, was regarded as one of the most beautiful women in Ireland. O'Hara inherited her mother's striking features and artistic flair. At age 5, a fortune teller visited their home and predicted that Maureen would become a world-famous woman, but ominously warned that it would one day slip through her fingers. A spirited tomboy, she earned the nickname Baby Elephant for her stout build and engaged in rough and tumble outdoor games, judo, and tree climbing. She even attempted to launch one of Ireland's first women's soccer teams. Her outspoken nature made her resistant to authority. She famously stated she would bite a teacher if slapped. From age 6, she was captivated by performance, eventually training in drama, music, and dance alongside her siblings. Her rise wasn't accidental. It was the product of raw talent fused with unwavering determination, and a prophecy that seemed destined to come true, though not without its own haunting cost. Betrayal, loneliness, and the price of fame. Maureen O'Hara's early ascent into stardom was marked not only by career breakthroughs, but by emotional betrayals and personal isolation. After her breakout role in Alfred Hitchcock's Jamaica Inn, she returned to Ireland only to find her old friendships withered, especially with other women who now viewed her as arrogant. Feeling abandoned, she turned to male companionship for connection. Amid this loneliness, she began dating producer George H. Brown, who infamously tricked her into marriage by orchestrating a surprise wedding. O'Hara, only 19 at the time, went through with it out of guilt and never saw him again afterward, later annulling the marriage. To her horror, Brown publicized their secret marriage, creating a scandal that infuriated her studio. The weight of success, paired with manipulative relationships and public scrutiny, left her increasingly guarded. These early years revealed a deep vulnerability masked by public grace. A woman who felt pressured into life-altering decisions and bore the consequences privately. Yet, rather than letting it break her, she added these betrayals to the list of injustices she would eventually overcome. Assault by directors, toxic workplaces, and John Ford's obsession. O'Hara's Hollywood journey quickly devolved into a psychological battlefield, with directors and co-stars using intimidation, harassment, and violence to assert dominance. One early director, John Farrow, made lewd remarks, stalked her, and upon rejection, bullied her on set until she finally retaliated by punching him. But none loomed larger in her life than director John Ford. Though they collaborated on 5 films, Ford's obsession with O'Hara turned ugly. He wrote her drunk love letters, declared his longing, then physically assaulted her, once punching her in the face on a movie set in front of the entire crew. Despite the trauma, O'Hara kept working with him, perhaps believing professionalism meant enduring cruelty. Ford's behavior oscillated between romantic fixation and violent outbursts. On another project, he berated her with crude insults, shouting, "Move your fat Irish ass," and publicly humiliating her. O'Hara later revealed she had caught Ford kissing a male actor on set, suspecting he feared she might expose him. In a twisted effort to discredit her, he may have fueled false rumors about her own sexuality. The psychological warfare waged against her by Ford and others turned her workplace into a war zone. Yet she refused to let it end her career. Tabloid lies, slander, and the fight for her name. In 1957, Maureen O'Hara became the first actress to take on and defeat one of Hollywood's most powerful tabloids, Confidential magazine. The publication had accused her of engaging in public sexual acts with her partner, Enrique Parra, inside Grauman's Chinese theater, a story that was entirely fabricated. O'Hara produced her passport, proving she was in Spain filming Fire Over Africa at the time of the alleged incident. Her lawsuit shocked the entertainment world, exposing the tabloid's pattern of destroying reputations with zero accountability. Many believed the false report was instigated by John Ford or others with personal vendettas. By winning the case, O'Hara shattered the myth that stars had no recourse against the media machine. Confidential's defeat was a seismic moment, pulling back the curtain on the smear campaigns that often left careers in ruins. While tabloids like Confidential thrived on salacious gossip and half-truths, O'Hara's courage to stand up and demand justice turned her into a symbol of resilience. Her court victory proved that even in an era dominated by male-run studios and press empires, a woman's voice, if persistent and righteous, could pierce through the noise and win. Enrique Parra, Racism, and John Ford's Revenge. O'Hara's romance with wealthy Mexican politician Enrique Parra triggered not only tabloid slander, but also intensified the wrath of her longtime collaborator John Ford. The relationship, considered scandalous by 1950s Hollywood standards due to its interracial nature, fueled further rumors about O'Hara's personal life. Ford reportedly insulted her brother, referring to Enrique as "that Mexican," and bitterly criticized her refusal to promote their shared film. Meanwhile, her ex-husband, William Price, harassed her through legal means, attempting to gain custody of their daughter and accusing her of immoral behavior. O'Hara countersued and was supported by a man who came forward with evidence that Price was secretly gay, an admission that turned the trial in her favor. These episodes revealed how her defiance made her a target for character assassination, legal bullying, and racial prejudice. Despite the increasing strain, O'Hara stood firm, challenging a system designed to intimidate women into compliance. Her refusal to yield, even as powerful men weaponized the legal system and public opinion against her, reasserted her control over her own narrative and affirmed her status as a Hollywood rebel with cause. Lifelong morals, industry isolation, and unapologetic integrity. O'Hara's moral code set her apart in a world that rewarded submission. She refused to drink, smoke, or wear revealing clothes on screen, actions that led studios to label her a prude. While others compromised to stay relevant, she held fast, refusing even to let directors kiss her as a greeting. As a result, whispers spread that she was cold, not feminine enough, or hiding something. These rumors isolated her further, but she wouldn't play the game. "I come from a strict family," she explained. "I won't do what would shame them." Her resistance came with real cost. She missed out on major roles because producers mistook her morality for a lack of passion. Even when pressured to pose for sultry photos, she refused, preferring to be underestimated than compromised. She once lamented that producers thought her good looks meant she couldn't act. But the irony was that her refusal to sell sex became the very reason she was overlooked, despite her enormous talent. Hollywood couldn't control her, so it tried to erase her. But she endured, outlasting many of her critics, proving that staying true to one's values can be the ultimate act of rebellion. Love, leadership, and the final betrayals. In 1968, O'Hara married Charles F. Blair Jr., a pioneering aviator and military figure. Their love was deep and mutual, and after his tragic death in a plane crash a decade later, she assumed control of his airline, becoming the first woman CEO of a scheduled airline in U.S. history. But her later years were marked by severe health struggles, including uterine cancer and 6 heart attacks. In 2012, her family reported that she was a victim of elder abuse while battling short-term memory loss. She relocated to Idaho to live peacefully with her grandson, away from the chaos that had defined much of her earlier life. Despite these hardships, she remained resilient, never letting illness or betrayal define her. Her final years were quiet, yet dignified, a testament to the life she had fought to control from beginning to end. She passed away peacefully in 2015 at the age of 95, leaving behind a legacy that stretched far beyond cinema. Her burial at Arlington National Cemetery beside her beloved husband underscored the national respect she earned not just as an actress, but as a trailblazer in every sense. Legacy of bravery, defiance, and immortal craftsmanship. Maureen O'Hara's story is not merely a Hollywood biography. It's a defiant epic of grit, grace, and unbreakable spirit. She wasn't just a red-headed starlet with sharp features. She was a warrior in an industry built on silence. Her decision to do her own stunts, including a life-threatening noose scene in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, where she had no safety net, reflects the sheer physical and emotional risk she poured into her craft. She was targeted, betrayed, and nearly destroyed, yet she endured. The rumors, assaults, and lawsuits couldn't stop her because her talent was undeniable. Even those who despised her were forced to work with her. She was that good. Today, her story serves as a blueprint for courage in the face of cruelty, a reminder that true greatness lies not in compliance but in defiance. In an industry built on illusion, Maureen O'Hara was unapologetically real, and for that she deserves her flowers, not just in comments but in history books, where her legacy continues to echo with every woman who dares to say no.